Talk a little bit. You mentioned at the beginning that you had multiple campuses kind of doing different songs. Like, could you maybe speak to just what that looks like both then and now for planning? Like, were you disparate? Are you guys doing the same sets every week? Like, let's hear a little bit about how just that's functioning for you guys.
Yeah. So back then, especially, we were all picking our own songs. It was kind of a different thing. The message is what we center all of worship around. So we do two songs up top, and then we do two songs after the message. And we really, really utilize that song out of the message. It's kind of like the altar time, so to speak, the response song. And so there for a while, we couldn't figure out the whole multi-site thing and the stream and the message thing. It took us a few years to figure that out. And so it's so funny. Pastor Sean and us were literally just talking about this a couple weeks ago. I was like, remember when we used to film the message and then we would give it to an intern and they would drive it down to the other location? Or there for a while, we had a week delay. So there was a lot of freedom and a lot of liberty for each campus to pick the songs. It almost in some ways felt like two separate churches.
Sure.
Not on purpose, it's just kind of how it was. But as we've grown together and as we have really worked together and fought hard for unity, there's been a synergy that has been created. And now, obviously we're live streaming the message. So it's the same message. A lot of times we're sending the same click to all the campuses, and our MD Scott is talking to all of them. Like, that's where we're kind of at now. Now every campus does the same songs, and same song, same set, pretty much same arrangement, same deal. And 50%, sometimes more, is all Red Rock songs. So
okay. Yeah. Talk to, like, you just touched on something that is like a really fun technical detail that sometimes blows people's minds, but like, talk about, you sometimes are sharing click between campuses.
Yeah.
What does that even feel like? Or like, how do you guys pull that off?
Well, it goes to some crazy cloud, and somehow, I don't know, it just pulls down.
Right. I just hear click and I play.
So like at our church, we use, everything's digital. So we use Dante virtual sound card for everything.
Sure. Yeah.
And so they've mapped all this stuff to work, and then we use Resi. That's about all I know of that, but that's how we stream our messages to the other places. And so anyways, into the message and out of the message, we will always pick up on Scott Miller, who's our MD, and he say, hey, what's up, y'all? And so at that point, we're sending our click via Ableton, Dante into Resi, all right? And then and then he's talking to them. So they get click, they'll get his voice, and then depending on what we're doing, if it's like a song like for Easter, Kory sang one of his original songs, Let Go. It's incredible. It's fire. You got to check it out. But we actually just broadcasted him singing that everywhere with all the bands. And so basically they just pick it up with the message feed, and then Scott will lead us. So sometimes out of the message, the pastor will get fired up. He'll get all charged up and ready to go. And so it's like, hey, we need to launch right into the next song. Maybe it's like, we don't need to start from the top. We actually need to start from the bridge, and we just need to go. Well, the only way to do that, especially at like a satellite campus, when you're not there with the pastor, like in person, and sometimes you can't even see the screen. Sometimes you can't even hear him that well. You've got to have someone who is driving the bus, and that's Scott Miller for us, our MD. And so he does a fantastic job of just keeping everybody going. Okay, we're going to the one. Okay, here we go. But, just keeping everybody on the same page. And so that way, if we need to, we can launch. And so basically how it works is the campuses will pick up Resi, which is just a playback. Think of it as like a big DVR system. They'll do that, and with that they have click cues, sometimes tracks, sometimes a lead vocal, and then they'll let that play out even after the message until Scott says, okay, you guys are on your own. So normally we'll wait until we do like, a big trash can, boom, and then it makes sense, and then it's like, bring it down, you guys are on your own, and then they can take it from there.
Sure.
Maybe I'm over explaining it, but that's what we do.
Yeah. Do you have any war stories of it falling apart? Those are always fun.
Kory had to sing a song. You had to sing behind the beat for Easter.
Yeah, For
Ooh.
some reason, the click was off of the loops. And so and it's like a really complicated ascending scale melody into falsetto. And so I had to like do it behind the click, and it was a train wreck. You can see the whole time my face is just like in a question mark. And so,
That's great.
but yeah.
Lo-fi hip-hop mode.
Yeah. That's, if you ever see me just do this, fling my ears out, I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Everybody in the crowd thinks that's like a spiritual moment. You're like, I just want to hear everybody.
Like,
usually it's like, no, this all fell apart, y'all.
Like, someone's talking in my ears right now. Please tell them to stop.